Hello and welcome to a constructed video on MTG Arena. Today I'm going to be playing a deck that I actually played at Nationals almost a year ago to a pretty good standard record. So basically the idea is that this is the red aggro deck, basically only splashing for Adanto Vanguard. Adanto Vanguard is just an excellent aggro card. It's difficult to deal with, it attacks at a good rate. Yeah, that basically sums up everything you want it to do. I also have a couple Legions landing. With the haste creatures, this deck is very good at attacking with a lot of creatures very early, so this can ramp you forward into, or this can cause it to flip, which both ramps you, and also gives you a good outlet for your mana, so you don't flood out. That's really excellent in a red deck like this. I was also splashing for some sideboard cards at the time, but I'll be playing quick constructed today, so that doesn't matter. Overall, this is just very similar to a normal red aggro deck. The only real difference is to make room for these. I'm a little bit shorter on removal. I've got the 4 Shock and the 4 Lightning Strike, but I'm not playing any Abrade. This is kind of made up for, though, with the fact that I've moved back towards Ahn-Crop Crasher, which people often aren't playing. The ability to falter the creature, make them not able to block on the exert, is really nice when you don't have as much removal, because you can just ignore their blocker instead. So I think this deck is pretty good. It might not be as good as Black-Red, but it has different strengths and weaknesses, so I will talk more about those once we start getting into the games. Okay, here we are hopping into the first round of a quick constructed. I will probably play a whole bunch of games with this deck because the games don't tend to take very long. Another thing you might have noticed compared to the other red aggro decks that are popular right now, I will keep this hand. It's not amazing, but it's not terrible. Worst case scenario, I'd pitch the rest of the hand to draw a bunch of cards. If my opponent plays a Soul-Scar Mage, we will be very unhappy. Nope. Okay. That wasn't what I expected. Oh, sweet. That draw is excellent. I think I lead on Bomat Courier. Because the damage is the same if you lead on a non-haste card versus the haste one, but this card generates value each time it attacks, not just the amount of damage it deals. And I guess the lifelink creatures kind of do that too, but not exactly in the same way. This is a more tangible upside. Oh, well, that's really unfortunate for what my hand is doing. So I am still going to play both of these. That way I can attack with my creatures and flip it next turn if I want to. Yeah, 1-3 is really bad news. Maybe we'll draw like an Earthshaker Khenra or something, but short of that. Also drawing 2 lands in a row after keeping a 3-lander is not really where this deck wants to be. That said, if I flip Legion's Landing, we have something to do with the manas. So it's not all bad. Opponent playing... I don't really know. Like, this would make me think like mono blue pirates or something, but Baral doesn't seem like a very pirate person. Okay, yeah, that's really powerful. We need a removal spell. I'm about to get really punished for not having 4 Braids in my deck, because this card will win the game for them very easily if left unanswered. Opponent possibly thinking about bouncing a creature or something like that. Okay, this is cool. I was already thinking about, like, trading one of my creatures for the Baral to flip this, and as long as this resolves, I don't even have to worry about that. That said, they could even have a 3-mana counter here because of Baral. That would be bad news. Sweet. They still might have a way to make this turn out badly for me, but this is better than what was happening a second ago. Opponent has something. I'm not sure what they're hoping to do. They had like a double unsummon effect they could stop me from flipping this. As is, seems pretty difficult. And it's not like flipping this even really does much at the moment. We're still in the position where I'm gonna get buried by this Curious Obsession. Okay, that's a weird choice. I wonder if they don't know this as haste. Okay, we're racing. I'm just not going to be able to keep up with the card advantage from Curious Obsession. That said, if I draw a 1-drop next turn and I can play 1-drop Hazoret attack, be in a decent spot. Now let's see what they do. And a lot of cards in hand, but my board is... Ugh, my board is still really bad against this Baral. This is really unfortunate. Okay. What do they bounce? The Bomat Courier, maybe? Yeah. Okay. Oh. Well, it's unfortunate that they put a card in my hand that directly works against what we wanted to do this turn. That really sucks. Just can't do anything. Yeah, I'm gonna lose to mono blue, tempo you out by the looks of it. Just not gonna be able to keep up with this stuff. Like, if they've got more exclusion mages and bounce spells, Hazoret's never gonna connect. And they can afford to keep, like, spending cards for not card advantage, because this Curious Obsession is winning the game. Maybe if we draw a removal spell in the next couple turns, we'll have a chance, but I'm so buried as is. Oh, this is definitely gonna kill me. Okay, yeah, I'm dead. This is a pretty frustrating way to lose a game. Like, if I'd had a single shock, I think I win this game very easily, but that's not always the way it turns out. Okay, getting into match 2. Which will hopefully go a little better than that first one. Like first, yeah, this hand looks great. I feel like I always set myself up to get punished when I start recording with something a little different, because I'll say things like, oh yeah, this deck is really similar to black-red aggro, but you have a little bit less removal, but it's fine. And then my opponent immediately sticks Curious Obsession on a 1-drop and destroys me with it. It's like, oh, that's not fine. I needed some abrades there. Sweet. Go ahead and play this pre-combat so it enters untapped, because I'm going to flip this. I'm going to play the Earthshaker Khenra, because, sure, this can't block. Now when I get in with these 3 creatures, we'll flip Legion's Landing, and I can have Lightning Strike up. I could play the Khenra, but I think I want to keep that, the Falter ability around. And I can also do this at instant speed, so there's no rush. Okay, opponent's playing the Turbo Fog deck. I wasn't sure. Like, I guess I might have been able to guess from Tranquil Expanse, but I wasn't. I didn't think it was a sure thing. Okay, what's the best way to use my mana here? I think to just play this. This matchup is kind of close. Like, if everything lines up for them, there's not really a lot we can do about it. Just gonna die. But, like, usually we're fast enough. If they have a non-ideal... Yeah, like they missed a land drop there. A non-ideal draw from the opponent is not going to be good enough. Huh. I suppose I actually should have played the Bomat Courier to be ready to start drawing cards. I'm going to want to dig for burn spells, because they're going to start fogging us out here. Yeah, this was wrong. Okay, no combat damage. What exactly is... Yeah, okay. So I can play this. And, yeah, whatever, I'll just pass the turn. Okay. This, not generating card advantage, it's just card selection for the moment. Yeah, okay. Oh. This doesn't look like the Nexus of Fate deck. This is a little different. Opponent's still missing land drops. That's kind of unfortunate for them. Okay. I'm going to play the Bomat Courier, but not these Khenras. I don't need to walk more into a Fumigate or something. Now I just want to start getting cards under this. Yep. Another Root Snare. Once I have 3 or 4, I can ditch this, try to find a Lightning Strike to finish the game. Okay, that's actually a good draw, because it turns Shock into a lethal draw. I guess I walked into that, didn't I? That's fine, though. I can handle this. I should have thought about it more, but... luckily, my deck has a lot of mountains, so we're gonna go ahead and get all of those out of the deck. Blockers, damage, and like the thing was, I needed to be getting cards under the Bomat Courier, so I had to attack with that one, and none of the other creatures mattered. I only needed one lethal attacker, of which I had 50 million in my hand, so, like, attacking with everyone into the settle didn't really lose me anything. I didn't lose anything that mattered, but I did thin out my deck a lot. Okay, so I'm going to go here, they're going to fog, and I'm going to kill them with the Lightning Strike. Bam. Yep, and like I said, we're just a little bit too fast. Opponents stumbled a little. If their hand had been perfect, and after the first 2 fogs they had started taking extra turns, we would have been dead. But their hand was imperfect, so we killed them. Alright, getting into game 3. This hand looks great. Dump it early, get down and attack with Hazoret really fast. On the play, if you only cast 1 spell per turn, you cannot quite attack with Hazoret on turn 4. So, hands like this, I should say, this version of the deck with lots of 1-drops and fewer 4-drops and no 5s is a better Hazoret deck than the alternatives, because it's a lot easier for me to cast 3 spells in the first 2 turns, empty my hand quickly, and then attack with Hazoret on turn 4. And because I drew this Soul-Scar Mage, if there's an untapped land in the next 2 cards, I will be able to attack with Hazoret on turn 4, and that is great. Opponent appears to be playing a control deck, so I'm going to get really aggressive here. Just burn this now for the prowess trigger. Got them down to 10 on turn 3 with our best card in the bank, plus a decent board. Looks like they're a control deck, so on 3 mana, yeah. Okay, this is probably another Turbo Fog deck. Which, yeah, okay, exactly. Alright, that's not a terrible draw. Okay, going to play this. I'm debating if I want to crack this Bomat Courier for 4 cards. or if I want to keep trying to find a Hazoret. I think our attacking board is good enough that I don't need... The thing about Hazoret, though, is it's good at killing through the fogs. Because it keeps hitting for the extra damage. I'm gonna go ahead and crack this. Okay. This is actually great, because we've got these shocks. We only need to get in a little more damage, and then we will easily win the game. Oh yeah, I meant to mention one of the main draws to Boros, actually, which is the mana. The red-white lands are much better for an aggro deck than the red-black lands. Canyon Slough is not an ideal land. It doesn't enter untapped ever. Tipping my hand a little here by showing the shock, but that's fine. Next turn I'm probably going to shock Adanto Vanguard, crack this one. My turn. Okay. Gonna go ahead and play out cards. If for some reason the Bomat Courier disappears in combat, I want my hand to be empty so I'm not losing anything. Okay. Preventing combat, that's fine. So I'll just go ahead and do this. If we find our third shock here, then we get to win the game right now. We did not. That was an atrocious draw. Holy crap. Okay, they bend to Teferi. My opponent is on have fog every turn for the rest of the game, or die. We're still attacking for more than that, so they still need a fog. Even if they had an answer for one of the Adanto Vanguards, that's not good enough. Holy crap. Okay. Cracking the Bomat Couriers has not worked out for us. That's awful. Yep. We're in the danger zone. We're putting our opponent on stop our combat damage or bust, but they only need, like, one more fog. Yeah. Oh, God. I think we're going to lose this game. Just really unfortunate. That last draw had, like, anything. We would have been good. Oh, my gosh. Whew. This is an aggro deck sometimes. Yeah. This, if... Oh god, and they can flip this. They're not quite at Nexus of Fate plus activating this, so even if they can take extra turns, they aren't generating card advantage, but this is not a great position. Okay. I will give them the top land. Opponent has all the colors they could possibly want with Gift of Paradise. Okay. So, I could try to kill Karn, but I think I need to attack my opponent. If they have something to stop me, then the game is likely over, because they're going to be able to start chaining Time Walks plus generating card advantage with Karn. But there isn't a whole lot I can do about that, so I'm going to make them have it. Okay. I'll just keep playing out my stuff. This is such a weird card for Wizards to print, because... Okay, yeah, this is... I have to give them this Teferi because I can't let them have another fog. I need to pray that they don't have one, but this game is almost certainly over. We missed our window. There's nothing you can do when there are literally 6 lands in a row on top in your aggro deck, and when you just need a little bit more. This also generates an absurd amount of mana with Teferi. Like, Teferi's ability was already gross, but the Gift of Paradise just makes it unreal. Okay, I'm gonna concede. My opponent's drawing 1,000,000 cards per turn. The game's super over. So, that sucks. We again got kind of unlucky, but that's magic. Okay, game 4. We are down, but not out yet. And I still think this deck is pretty good. When I played it yesterday to try it out again, I didn't lose a game, so this is a little irritating. But, I don't know, I think we can pull back. This hand's not incredible. Like, the mana's a little awkward in terms of playing cards out to attack with Hazoret, but hey, last game we had an awesome hand for Hazoret, and that just didn't work at all, so. We do have a good hand for opponent playing X1s in their red deck, so. What we would really like here is a Soul-Scar Mage, so I could Soul-Scar plus Shock, and then Chainwhirler drops the counters on people. That's always just excellent. Okay. Just gonna go ahead and play out my cards and attack. Sure, that one can't block. Okay, opponent killing my Khenra, that's fine. Hoping we can get one more turn of opponent just attacking with the Firebrand. If they are heads up about the matchup, they probably shouldn't, because the odds of them getting blown out by a Chainwhirler are high. Soul-Scar, you are one turn too late. But yeah, I can go ahead and do this. Get their creature for free, and also ping them for one, and I just have... The 3/3 first strike body on Chainwhirler is so good. It dominates these red matchups. Okay. Interesting. Well, if I hit a land next turn, I'm just gonna Soul-Scar plus Chainwhirler. Buccaneer's Bravado cannot save you from neg1 counters on your 1/1. This card's interesting. I wonder how big they can get their pirates to really take advantage of the double strike. Okay. This is still not good enough by itself, because my guy has first strike, but maybe they have some sort of trick? No, okay. Okay, well... I'm still gonna do the thing I just talked about. Opponent almost out of cards. They appear to be playing red-black pirates, which is neat, and some of the pirates are good enough, but others are just not. Like, the pirate cards are not good enough to make up for the fact that Chainwhirler is just one of the best cards in Standard. Okay. Sweet. So now I'm going to shock the Firebrand. They can kill my Bomat Courier, but whatever, I don't need the extra cards at this point. I suppose there wasn't really a reason to do this. Huh. Oh, wow, that was a mistake. Possible my opponent's just given up, because this game's super over, but... definitely activate the ability of your Fanatical Firebrand. Okay, that was a quick one. Alright, game 5. Don't call it a comeback. We're winning. Hopefully we can keep winning. Going first, that's great. This hand is pretty good. Oof. I kind of hate this art for Clifftop Retreat just because, to me, it looks like the Inspiring Vantage, especially when you only get to see less than 20% of the card in your hand. I have accidentally played this on turn 1 so many times. Opponent going to 6. This is the type of hand you see a lot more in this deck than the typical red strategies, because I've built it to have a lot of 1-drops and fewer 4s. So we're good at dumping our hand early. The hand will need a little help, though. Like, these 4 cards are not enough to win the game by themselves. Whereas sometimes a Rekindling Phoenix goes all the way. I'm leaning on Aether Hub. Let's see what they're doing here. This can either mean they're doing something strange, or they just don't have many lands. Green. Okay. Sure. I am definitely going to get that off the table. Deny my opponent colored mana. Like I said, this might indicate that they don't have many lands, and so this could make their life really difficult if they weren't prepared for their Llanowar to die. We'll see what happens, though. This could make my next turn a little more awkward, because I don't have a 1-mana spell left, so Earthshaker Khenra doesn't really do anything, but turns out we don't need it. Sorry. I can't play Khenra plus another spell, so I was thinking that I'd only be able to play a 2-drop this turn. But this was an awesome draw. Okay, opponent's got a really ambitious mana base. Llanowar Elves plus these. They are doing something. Okay, sure. Kills my creature. Sweet. I love this card. I am glad that it's not rotating. Hopefully get to do something cool and aggressive with probably Selesnya cards and Adanto Vanguard. Selesnya and Boros are both in the set, so... This doesn't really play well with the Mentor cards, which is unfortunate. If it were... They used to print this type of card as a triggered ability, like when it attacks, get +2/+0 until the end of turn, and that would have played a lot better with the new Boros mechanic. Ooh, well, I'm glad I played Adanto Vanguard. This card is so good. Like, just most sweepers don't work. Most spot removal doesn't work. You can, if my opponent were trying to slow me down by playing creatures, I can freely attack into them. My life total doesn't matter. My opponent's at 11. What's it matter if I play it 2 more times and go down to 8? That's totally fine. Like, even if my opponent has another sweeper here, I pay another 4 life, play the Khenra, and they're just dead. Yeah, there was nothing they could do, and it was part having a good aggressive red opener, but part Adanto Vanguard just being ridiculous. Alright. Game 6, I think? Yeah, 6. Opponent goes first. Unfortunate, but whatever. Okay, sure. This hand looks sweet. Okay. Oh. Ew. That's pretty rough. This is not good. This does not bode well for our red aggressive deck. Adanto Vanguard does improve things. Just being able to attack into tokens freely and not worrying about blockers is nice, but... Okay, well, let's hope they stay on 1 land, because these Sacred Cats are going to be tough enough to deal with anyway. I actually shouldn't have attacked with this Vampire, because I'm guaranteed to flip this with a Bomat Courier next turn, but not if I'm just throwing away this Vampire to trade with half of a Sacred Cat. I needed this token. I guess it worked out, but... Won't hit their second land, which does not bode well for us, but... Okay. Luckily, we have a shock, so we can go ahead and get that right off the table. I think I'm still going to do that. And actually, I'm going to use my mana a little inefficiently here. I'm going to play the Bomat Courier, because like I said before, just by attacking, this card generates an advantage, and so I want to get as many cards under it as possible. It's not easy to race lifelink creatures, but we're kind of doing it at the moment. Do I want to burn the shortcutter effect on this? Nah, I think that's more important. If my opponent plays like an Anointer Priest, it's another lander. Okay, so they're drawing what they need. Resolves. That's unfortunate for me. Ooh. Game is not going super great. And we're flooding out. Oh boy. So, again, I don't think I'm going to burn this because I would rather just activate Adanto this turn. Opponent is almost out of resources. I was kind of expecting, like, Anointed Procession and stuff. So maybe I'm supposed to just start, like, making vampires and trading for these tokens. Yeah, because I'm the one with the infinite token factory here. They are not. If my opponent plays an Anointed Precision here, I'm going to feel really stupid, but... No, that's much, much worse for me. Holy crap. Oh, man, I can't believe we're going to lose to this, but... Them's the breaks. Yeah, God, do I just, like... I think I just play this and pass. I just threaten to block this guy with a bunch of creatures, trade away my board. Oh boy. Again, we can win this. We've got more going on as the game goes long, but my opponent drew all the lands they needed and has... They drew their unbeatable 4-drop, but we do not have a Hazoret. Yep, they're gonna gain so much life here. And... like, it's going to take so many turns of activating this to make up for the one attack with the Leonin War Leader. And if they have anything here, we're just super dead. Like a charge or inspiring charge or another War Leader. This game is over. Yep. Well, I guess that's not entirely true. Again, we've got the better late game. We've got a couple of cards to draw with this Bomat Courier. I'll eventually trade this off and then make another 4/4 that opponent can't do much about. Could really go for finding a Hazoret soon. Okay, they didn't even want to trade their creature. Suppose that's good for us. I'm just going to attack with Bomat Courier and then crack it. This isn't going to get better. So let's draw 3 cards. Okay. Don't need to make them block. We know they're going to. Alright. This is actually pretty sweet, because we can use it to shrink this Adorned Bouncer. Oh, this is really gross. I might have to Lightning Strike that just so those cats don't enter as 2/2s. Yeah, I really wanted to be able to Lightning Strike the Adorned Bouncer down to a 1/1 so we could block with whatever and beat it, but I don't think that's in the cards right now. And here I think I just gotta take a lot of damage. Okay. Sweet draw. Best draw. I shouldn't have played that mountain. I don't have a good enough board to start cracking in. They can chump block forever. So I'm just going to sit back for the moment. And now we're in a decent position. Hazoret is just the best card on the table. Opponent can never really attack into it. Like, they need an overwhelming board to make that a good idea. Meanwhile, we can turn lands into damage, and I have an Adanto going, so... bit precarious, but this could still work out now. And yeah, the Metallic Mehmet makes it clear that this is cat tribal, not tokens, which is a little better for us. Sort of. Regal Caracol will just end the game very effectively, but... whew. Opponent playing Sacred Cat is one of the only ways to make me feel really bad about having a Adanto Vanguard in my deck. Okay. Again, can't really attack. Opponent has too big of a life total advantage, and almost all their creatures have lifelink, so we're unlikely to win the game that way. But that said, I'm turning mountains into damage and making Adanto tokens. So interesting that that gains life even if they don't attack. That's neat synergy, or not synergy, but it's an effect that generates them an advantage even when the board's stalled out. see. Oh. As usual in Standard, the card that would be by far the best here is Goblin Chainwhirler. That would be... This game would basically end. Instead, though, I will continue playing out what I've got and making vampires. We haven't seen a Chainwhirler yet. There are 4, so every turn we have approximately a 1 in 10 chance of drawing something that, like, ends the game for us. Specifically, it's amazing because of Soul-Scar Mage. Like, killing the 1/1s is great, but shrinking these 4/4s down is equally great. Okay. Hazoret was such a good draw. She's completely stabilized this board. Otherwise, we were going to have to spend our vampires chump blocking this Adorned Pouncer forever. Okay. Holding pattern continues. Again, don't feel incredibly amazing. A Regal Caracol at any time could just end the game, but they probably don't have 4 Caracols. Maybe they do. That would be a little insane, but... Okay, this is another very scary card. I really want to hit a Chainwhirler or some burn spell immediately, because this Leonin Vanguard is going to grow this every single turn, even though they're not attacking, and that's bad news. Okay, we're getting pretty unlucky here. Like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 lands in the top 22 cards? That is... Ugh. But, if anything, I guess that just showcases how good some of the other cards of this deck are. Because we are still in this game, despite seeing the incredible amount of lands. Eventually, this card's going to get big enough that it can attack into Hazoret and live, which is scary, but she can still just, like, block it forever. And I can always chump a Johnny's Pridemate and have Hazoret kill a different creature in combat, so it doesn't really matter. It's just, it'll make ending the game a lot harder. Especially if they ever draw a Caracol and can give all their creatures lifelink. This will attack in and just gain, like, 20, and I'll basically never be able to finish the game. Okay, yeah, and I think, is it better to, I think I do play this, so I'll be able to trade it off twice, but I had to think about it, like whether I wanted to do that or pitch it with Hazoret, because, like, I can turn that into 2 damage, which is not really relevant, they're gaining so much life, but... the relevant part is that I could immediately make it into a 4/4, which is much better on the board. The problem is that I don't have enough mana to eternalize an Earthshaker Khenra and also activate Adanto. And I really want to be doing this every turn, so I think that was the tiebreaker for me. Opponent's attacks are still terrible and getting worse by the turn. We're building up a very large vampire army. This makes me wish, in the Boros version that I played almost a year ago, I had a bunch of Shafet Dunes. Oh, this is interesting. I think I'm just... Do I hold this? Do I burn it to stop growing the Johnny's Pridemate? I think it's between shooting here and preparing to make one of these smaller, but I think I should just stop Pridemate from growing. Just cut that out. Stop it as a 5/5. As is, Hazoret will kill it in combat if they ever decide to Alpha Strike me. Also, they'll stop gaining life, so Hazoret will actually start making progress on their life total as we're throwing away lands. Well, that's absolutely awful. That's going to very easily win the game if we don't find something immediately. We were in a top deck war, and my opponent definitely drew the bomb. Oh my gosh. Cycle this, I guess. Again, if I find a Chainwhirler here, what I'm going to do is attack with this, get the card under it, and then immediately crack it. To cycle. Again, Chainwhirler here would really put us in this game. It would decimate my opponent's board. But we yes, okay. I was saying we really needed something right now. And we found it. We're still not in amazing shape just because of this Lyra, but we're a lot closer. And even among the many things that make this great, this takes an extra turn for Lyra on the clock. Like, she'll have to hit us 3 times to kill us. Whereas before she only needed twice. And yeah, like, this attack is not even amazing. They don't have any lifelink creatures on blocking duty right now, so I'm going to be able to get in for a big attack this next turn. Okay. Okay, now they will have a bunch of lifelinking creatures, but I think I am going to start attacking. Ideal would be finding another Goblin Chainwhirler. End of turn. Activate Adanto again. And these lifelink vampires are about to start... Ooh, that's a great draw. Can shortcutter this, I guess? I don't know which is better, actually. Whatever. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to want at least 3 back, but I can make 1, so I can attack with everything except, like... I'll say 3 vampires, just to be really safe, because I'm going to gain a significant amount of life here. Okay. I'm gonna hold this back just because it's only 1 damage, but this is a very good card to have both for blocking 1/1s and in case I draw another Chainwhirler. Do I attack with this Chainwhirler? Because the first strike is really good here. I might be holding too much back if I don't, but I'll attack with the other vampire then. And I will make this not able to block. Gonna gain at least 5 here. Go up to 10, so I'm not really in danger of dying on the crackback. And hopefully get in for a lot of damage. They're only going to be able to block with 4 creatures, and I just attacked with 12. Okay. I knew they were either holding a land or that. This is really unfortunate. Opponent's draws have just been great. Yeah. That's probably going to be the game, honestly. Oh. Huh. Wow, that was... Just not blocking there is really aggressive. Okay. Gotta block here. Block there. Chump block here. I don't think I'm dead. Let's see, I'm gonna take 4, 5, 6. I mean, they're gonna gain a lot of life back. Oh, and then this block is free. Sure. They just put themselves dead on board? I think they did. That was... yeah, that was not a good attack. Wow. Okay, I felt really bad after we attacked and got sealed away, but... that's something that happens sometimes. If a board gets really stalled out, people make weird decisions if they can't process everything that's going on. So, think we got a little lucky to win that one after getting really unlucky for it to be that bad, but we're still in the league. Okay, game 7. Guaranteed a winning record at this point, which is great. Get to go first. This hand is awesome, just curving out. Gotta remember not to play this on 1. One thing that's really awkward for opponents is the falter effects, kind of feed into the Goblin Chainwhirler. I'm actually going to play the... I don't think it matters. Because it encourages my opponent to keep playing a bunch of X1s because their previous ones didn't get to block, and then Chainwhirler just wipes them all away. If my opponent plays a Winding Constrictor here, they are in a lot of trouble. Okay. Sure. I think I'm going to play the Chainwhirler, just get this off the table. Slow them down. Yeah, so the way Soul-Scar Mage works, it's really weird. It doesn't deal damage in the form of -1/-1 counters like Infect or Wither does. Instead, it replaces the damage with -1/-1 counters. Yeah, opponent was very far behind. So if my opponent plays a Winding Constrictor, they don't just get a counter on all of their creatures from the Chainwhirler. They get 2, because all my things deal extra counters because of their Winding Constrictor, so it's a weird interaction that is very not good for them. Okay, only a couple more games here. One way or another, we're in the home stretch. This hand is awkward. We can play a lot of cards even if we don't hit a white, and we've got 11 white sources, so I think I'll keep it, but it is a little sketchy. Okay. Well, zombies could be rough. Their creatures are better than ours. Okay, but they missed their 2, which is very good for us. I think I'm going to play both Soul-Scars here. I could play one and leave up a shock in case of, like, a Lord, like a Death Baron or something. But I don't think... Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to shock this to death anyway, so... Okay, we still need a white source, but so far we've had stuff to do, which is great. Okay, this is why Soul-Scar Mage is excellent. Normally a shock there would have just been awful, wouldn't have done anything, but instead it meant that we just got to eat their guy with our 1/1. So that's awesome. They play a Death Baron here, I'll kill that. If they play another Lord of the Accursed, I'll probably... I don't know. Okay, that's kind of scary. It is a big creature. I suppose I should have thought if I wanted to kill that in combat to save some life. I think I'm just going to untap. Make a more informed decision. Okay, so what I'm going to do here... So I'm going to go to combat, I'm going to attack. If they block Josu Vess on a Soul-Scar, I will shock Josu. Okay. Well, if I just get to deal the damage, that's great. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shock Dreadwander, and I'm going to crack my Bomat Courier. Oh, I should have done this in combat, I just missed 2 damage. Oh, that was very careless. I was assuming they were going to block something. Okay. Sure. This hand is slightly better than the one we had before. Not a ton, but... Okay, that's really, really bad news. I did mention their creatures are better than ours, and we're not doing anything. We're not playing any powerful cards, and that's not... You can't not play powerful cards in this matchup. Just get destroyed. Earthshaker Khenra is awful here. I think this is the end of the line, folks. I don't see how we're going to get through these 3/3s. I guess I'll play it out, but I think this game is over. And those 2 points of damage were not what made the difference. Just didn't get to play any powerful cards and not fast enough. Okay, and... I mean, I guess this doesn't really make a difference because we just get to lightning strike it, but... Okay, opponent didn't want to attack, which is odd. Again, we can't really attack. Oof. Okay, I'm gonna concede to that one. So, 6-3 after a pretty rocky start, so I guess I'm happy with that given how things started, but yeah, 2-to-1 win ratio is pretty good.